Welcome back to the Daily Bread. Let's talk about all the craziness we're going through. 2024 is going to be one of those chaos years that nobody predicted. We all know it's going to be insane, crazy, but didn't expect it to be the way it has been so far. We're on the third month. P. Diddy is coming out. Cat Williams said it. A lot of people said it, and everybody knows it, but nobody knows how deep it goes. Why would the Homeland Security raid a musician's home? Whatever happened to the FBI? Whatever happened to the local jurisdictions? See, there's something deeper. The Homeland Security wants to secure and protect the politicians and electeds and high ranking individuals that are involved in sex trafficking children. Human trafficking is one of the biggest businesses and biggest pleasures for the elites. And now we're seeing it slowly fall apart. But this is just another, movie. There's another season happening, and nothing's ever probably going to happen from it. But maybe Diddy hangs himself, or gets lost and disappears. How come nobody saw Epstein's, corpses and what happened and what didn't happen? Nothing, right? Walking to the courts and everything. So Diddy is probably going to have the same thing. He end up sitting on an island, retiring his, whatever he does. So what we do know is he has ruined Usher. He has ruined Justin Bieber. There's a lot that has happened, and Diddy is responsible for it. And for that reason, they used him until they no longer need him, or he's been jeopardized. And now they want to get rid of him. And so many more decks are going to fall. So many black musicians and other musicians and artists are going to end up being exposed. I mean, Jay-Z is one of the biggest corrupt musicians out there, music industry leaders. And you will see that once the domino starts falling, we'll hear a lot more about it. So let's move gears to what's happening in California. California politics has similar approaches, right? There's politicians that there have been dirts on and people have dirt on. And so they vote a certain way, they do a certain thing, or they resign. Same goes for Republicans and Democrats. So please, all my Republican buddies, don't get super excited and start pointing fingers at Democrats. Remember, this is about good and evil, right versus wrong. This is no longer about a party, because we have seen Republicans do exactly what they, accuse Democrats of doing. They're just as corrupt, just as dirty as each other, Republican versus Democrats, right? So every vote counts. When you're voting, stop thinking that your vote doesn't count and not vote. There's a perfect example in a congressional race out of San Jose, where the assembly member and the county supervisor are literally divided by one single vote. So whoever wins this election is going to be winning it by like 1 or up to 10 votes, maybe. So imagine what it would have taken to have one other person come out and vote with you. Imagine what it would have taken to have another family member, friend, just go down there and vote. You could have made the difference for one or the other candidate. So that's why I tell people you should mobilize, localize, and organize and start, voting. And to all my Christian brothers and sisters, prayers don't win election. Prayers do not win elections. Votes do. So while my Christian brothers and sisters are just out there praying and not voting and not participating, thinking that Jesus is going to come down and save the world for them and Jesus is going to solve all their problems, God gives you health, gives you well-being. Jesus gives you a good state of mind, healthy hands, healthy feet, healthy mind, healthy body. It's up to you to act on it. It's up to you to move on and make a difference. There was a little joke that actually was truth. Armenians and Christians, they were actually going to war. And let's just say they were in war with Persia back in the day. So Armenian Christians drinking, cheering God, God, we love you. Tomorrow we're going to win this battle. You're with us. You're going to protect us. You're going to serve with us. We're here to serve you. We're God's children. So they drink all night, wake up with a hangover, drunk, and they have to get to the battlefield to fight. And, the Persians were sharpening their swords, getting their elephants ready, getting all their weapons ready. and they worked through the night just to get everything ready. And during the war, all these Christian Armenians are getting their asses handed to them. They're getting killed. They're getting slaughtered and saying, God, where are you? Come down. We need you right now. We need you. We need you. And they lose the battle. They lose the war. And God says, I gave you health, well-being. What do you think? I was going to come down to every single battlefield, every single one of you with a hangover and protect you? Doesn't work that way. So to all the people that just say a prayer, believe me, I believe in prayers. But there's a level of prayer and then there's a level of action. So in life, always pray because there's a higher power above you that will definitely help you or protect you or answer your prayers. But you have to take that step. You have to take the action. You can't be an alcoholic and getting drunk every day and then blaming God or praying to God and saying, you didn't give me that Lamborghini and I don't have a big mansion and I don't have a happy family. It's God did his part. You must do yours. So it's important to understand that religion is an important part of life. God is an important part of our lives, our families. There are certain things that you cannot protect your family from, but God will. So I'm not saying do not pray. I'm not saying don't believe in God. That is not what I'm asking you or telling you or passing on to you. What I am saying is when it comes to elections, get out the vote. Get there. Go to your churches. Talk to your fellow Christians. Tell them, educate them. If you're a candidate, go to every different church in that district. Enroll them. Ask them to bring their ballots to the next service. Ask them to register to vote if they're not registered. A lot of people do bare minimum. They scratch the surface. But when it comes to whether it's ballot harvesting legally or getting the message out or getting the vote out, people take their foot off the gas. So if you're going to be a smart candidate, educate yourself on your religious institutions around you in the community. Go out there, get the vote out. Let them get to know you. Get your message out. All these big churches that have 500, 1,000, 2,000 people in their, congregation, get the message out. You show up one time, 1 hour, talk to the pastor, maybe do a little contribution, pray with them, and spread the message. Spread your message, your truth. That's the hardest thing to do when you're running for office is to pass the message on, right? So getting your message out is the most difficult thing to do. That's why you need money. That's why you need voters. That's why you need boots on the ground. That's why you need the ground game. So make sure you educate yourself and make sure you thank God for giving you a good health, a better opportunity to actually go out there and want to make a difference. So going backwards into our local elections, I want to talk a little about the GUSD and the City of Glendale elections and Armenians. My people, what's wrong with you? If it wasn't for us eating each other up, we wouldn't be beaten by anybody. If it wasn't us selling each other out, we wouldn't be beaten by anybody. And we're seeing, season 5 from the Glendale School District and the Glendale City Council episodes coming. They're on season 5. They've got a lot of crap going on. Just recently, they were talking crap to each other. Ellen wants to be mayor. It's Ada's turn. They couldn't have a decent human conversation behind the scenes and come to an agreement. They had to bring it to the whole city council and make it into a shit show. Well, everybody's laughing at us, people. I'm not pointing fingers to one side or the other, but we've become the laugh stock of California. I had a Latino friend of mine tell me, Arnie, are you following what's going on in Glendale? I said, no, why? What's going on? I mean, maybe I am. He says, dude, that's a shit show and then some. He's like, I thought we had issues in the Valley when it came to Latino politics. You guys beat everybody. And, the sad truth is he's right. So to all my Armenian fellow politicians, social media warriors, online liking, commenting, online gangsters, I call them, wake up. Wake up. The 2 candidates for GUSD lost. That tells you something. All this noise online didn't convert them to GUSD boots on the ground parents, all those parents that talked, complained, where were they? Where are they? Please, I hope you learn from your mistakes. I hope you learn from experience, build better coalitions, build better networks, and better luck next time. You've got 2 years to prepare to have other candidates run. So it's not going to stop. The socialists are mobilizing through their protests. As I keep saying, that socialists and progressives have been mobilizing through their protests, and nobody is following them. Nobody's realizing it. All these pro-Palestine, events you're seeing, they're not all for pro-Palestine. Yeah, they're making noise, but they're all harvesting ballots. It's not that simple, but yet it is. The socialists, the LA Forward, all these different progressive organizations are registering homeless. They're harvesting ballots. They're literally doing everything they can to get that vote in. And based on the drops of the last election, we're here to see that they are doing something right. They're beating us. So it's important to see that we are going to be in the process of having the socialists and progressives take over our city councils, take over our local, state, and Congress agencies and offices, and get judges elected. And the way it's looking, Gascon actually has a chance now. I wish Hatami had came in second. He would have wiped Gascon, in the dirt. But now, Hatami is out. It's between Nathan and George, and George has a chance, unfortunately. But I ask every individual that is listening to this, and everyone tell them to vote for Nathan. Vote for anybody but Gascon if you want to not have a city of LA become a shit show, become a hellhole, just like Oakland, just like San Francisco. So moving forward, the Biden administration has been talking about Bidenomics. Well, California has a 5.3% unemployment rate. 5.3%, that's been counted. That's not counting the people that have 2 jobs and 3 jobs just to pay rent. Now, what's really going to hit California is this $20 minimum wage for fast food workers. California minimum wage is $15.50. So there's a $4.50 increase, which is almost a 25% increase. What that's going to do is once McDonald's and In-N-Out and Starbucks have to pay $20 minimum, all the small mom and pop shops have to pay $20 minimum because they have to be able to either keep the employees they have or hire new employees. And just like what our security company is telling us, just like what my managers are telling me is when we put ads is people are saying, well, I could go work at McDonald's and get $20. Why are you paying me 19? So we're already seeing it happen. What's going to happen is all these fast food stores are going to cut hours. They're going to cut back. More restaurants are going to close. Costs of food are going to go up. The cost on the menu is going to go up. Customers are not going to eat out as much. They're not going to be going out. They might be buying to bring food home to cook and so on. But at the end of the day, the small mom and pop shop business owners are the ones that are going to hurt. And it's the workers. The unions are not doing what's right for the people. They're doing what's right for them. So anyone that thinks that, raising the minimum wage so rapidly is going to help the working class in the fast food industry is mistaken. We saw the same thing happen with the hotel industry, the hospitality industry. What happened during this whole new union reform? They forced, hotels, they, picketed in front of them. They asked for better wages. You know what happened? They cut their hours. And the Figueroa, the Fig Hotel, you know what they did? They outsourced their labor, full-time, 100 employees, to an outsourcing agency that's hiring undocumented individuals. So the liberals and the progressives are literally killing their own cause. They're the problem. they're the reason why everything is falling apart for them. So it's important to understand that where there's a will, there's a way. You want to force a business to be forced to make changes and pay more when he can't charge more? The other avenue is now there's all these undocumented illegals, undocumented individuals that are in our country, millions of them. They need jobs to survive, to sustain. So what's going to happen is they're going to be able to work under these nonprofits that are being formed, and these nonprofits are becoming like basically employment agency, or they're just hiring people and becoming a management agency for the labor force. One way or the other, it's cheaper for some of these companies to pay whatever it is, $22 per person with the taxes included or workers' comp included, or $24, than having to hire someone, pay $20, pay the workers' comp, pay the taxes, all this, 401k, all that stuff. So it's very important to understand that American politics is really affecting the business, the American dream. People don't realize that I'm all for minimum wage going up. I'm all for organic growth, because that way people don't feel it. It's like boiling a frog. You're right away blasting it. The frog is jumping out. Now all hell has broken loose. But do it little at a time. Give the businesses room to adjust. Give the people room to adjust. So what I've predicted is by 2025 or early 2025, we are going to see everything in California increase by 20%, which also brings us to cannabis. In the past 5 years, everything has gone up. Everything. From, cars to food to building material, everything has gone up in price. Guess what? Cannabis has it. We still have the $10 grams. Now there's the $7 grams. There's the $5 joints. Those are all going to go up. They have to. But what's happening is all these social equity people that have been losing money and hurting for years now are trying to open up shop and now are basically losing out. And they're losing money, but in order to make it seem like they're making money or have money, they're basically dropping the price. Race to the bottom. You can't win. There is a certain margin you need to have in order to maintain profits. And if you don't have that, you're going to go out of business. It's not if, but when. So the cannabis industry is losing. We're being raped from the laws that's being passed, which means there's new laws coming. I'll keep you guys updated on that. There's new laws coming about packaging, flavoring, names, things like that. So there's a lot of new stuff that's coming, and it's going to happen. It's a matter of time, not if it's going to happen. The other thing that's going to happen is we're going to see a lot of businesses close up. We've already seen many cannabis retail businesses shutting down. A lot of grows are shutting down. There's a lot of auctions happening. So if you really wanted to get in, and if you have money, if you know what you're doing, I would say buy all your stuff from the auctions. Otherwise, don't even bother getting into the cannabis business. It's not as profitable as you may think. It's not profitable, period. Just like anything else. It's work. You're not going to put 50,000 get $1 million out of it. You're not going to put 100,000 and get $1 million out of it. There's no 10x benefits back anymore. And it's not as easy to run it. I remember we had an African-American assembly member that him and I had a back and forth, and he said all these, old school drug dealers that were in jail that now qualified for social equity, they know the business. They do the numbers in their head. They can hustle. And I told him, I said, it's not that simple. That's the 80s. That's the early 90s. Now, nobody does anything in their head. Everything is tracked and traced in computers. And homie that was in jail for 10 years, 15 years, usually doesn't have the computer knowledge that it takes to run a business of that magnitude. He can hire other people, and don't get me wrong, but it's a lot more than that. So if someone's been doing 10 years and someone else has been out here doing 10 years of work and retail and operations, guess who's going to succeed? The one that's been putting in the work, the pre-ICO operators, the people that have been actually cutting back, understanding, getting arrested, coming back out, and keep moving forward. So if the California cannabis goes bust, California loses a lot of money. California CDTFA, that's under the governor's office, has now basically started auditing everyone, started going after everyone, started literally taxing everyone to the throat. And it's only going to get worse. So I let you know, you don't have to get into the cannabis business. There's a lot of businesses out there. Do what you're good at. If you're a good mechanic, get into the mechanic business. If you're a good realtor, get into retail or real estate. If you're a retail person, operations, whether sales, get into that. Understand what you're good at, what your talents are, and proceed forward that way. Because if you just get into something and you've never grown anything in your life and you think you're going to grow and make millions, you're not. It's not happening. It's not what it used to be. So, which also brings us to employees. I want to talk a little about employees. You can comment below. Give me your thoughts. Workplace drama. Every company has it, but successful companies have less drama. However, you always have individuals that bring the drama. They always want attention. They always want to create problems because that way the attention goes to them. I call it the negative attention approach. So there's a lot of people that do that. There's policies. For example, we have a policy. Employees don't go out clubbing and bars, hopping and things like that together. If you build a friendship, relationship, that's a plus. However, every time employees go out, they have issues. Everybody knows about each other's sexual lives, personal lives, and it brings nothing but drama because it's a matter of if and when they're going to have a falling out, and then the whole, other staff find out what's going on, and it's nothing but a shit show. Everybody feels bad about it. Everybody feels offended and threatened and harassed and all that. So I highly recommend not going out with your coworkers. Now, another level high up above that is your managers and supervisors. If you're in a leadership position, going out with your employees or your staff to a nice dinner, to a nice restaurant, to actually go out to, a lunch meeting, it's okay. It's normal. But going bar hopping or going clubbing and nighttime, bagging that ass up is not okay. I always say walls have ears. It's not okay, people. That staff member now has seen their manager back that ass up and act like a hoochie, which in return creates a problem. It creates a problem. She loses respect for you if you go out, or he loses respect for you if you're a dude going out, getting drunk, acting like a little man whore. What's going to happen is they're going to lose respect for you. And when you try to enforce the rules and laws of the business, that person is like, wait, homegirl, you were bagging that ass up last Saturday, and now you're going to tell me how to do my job? Or, wait, homeboy, weren't you the one chasing that chick? Da-da-da-da-da-da. This is the type of drama. So cut that BS. Stop the nonsense. Focus on work when you're at work. So many people go to work and talk about everything else but work. I have staff. I've seen staff. I walk into a restaurant, before they're sitting me down, they're talking about Beyonce's new song and, P. Diddy's life and this. And I'm like, excuse me, hi. I'd like to get a seat. So this happens in every industry. It happens in every work. Not just talking about your personal life is a red flag. Talking about everything else that's going in the entertainment industry or in the world is also a red flag. So I ask our staff to always focus on work. When you're coming to work, you're there to work. It's work. So it's important for you to really understand why you're there. And if you're there to work, I'm not saying don't have a 5-minute conversation about this, that, the other. That's just, you take your break, you have your conversation, you go back to work. So it's important to keep in mind that you're there to work. You're always going to be focused on what's right, what's wrong at the workplace. Leave your baggage at the door when you go in, pick it up on your way out. Focus on work if you want to improve at your job and what you do. And I'm not just saying that because, we work for him, he wants us to. I want you to improve, period. Because guess what? If you improve and you move on, I'm happy for you if you move on to bigger and better things in life. If you're moving on to, crap, it kind of means that we had a crap operation or you just had a crap mentality. So it goes both ways. I've had people in my life that became alcoholics, drug addicts, lazy, stoners, losers, and then they blamed everybody else but them. Remember that everybody is self-made, but only winners will admit that. I know it's painful. I know it's difficult. In order for you to be sober and take life head on is not easy. It's not for everybody, and it's not going to happen overnight. But through hard work, through commitment, through dedication, you're going to end up basically succeeding and not being addicted to drugs, painkillers, alcohol, and so on. So it's very important to keep your head straight. Every time you have friends that want to do crazy stuff, understand as an adult and as a successful person, you need to say no. There's ways of dealing with situations. And if your friends really want to get you drunk and always want to party with you, they're not really your friends. And they're pretty much going to end up being losers. It's like my grandfather used to say, show me a gambler and I'll show you a loser. Show me a gambler and I'll show you a loser. That's the same thing I say about all these people chasing tail, all these girls that just want to get dressed up and be Instagram models and go do nothing. Most of them don't make money. They're broke, they're hungry, and so on. That's why you see a lot of women on OnlyFans nowadays. Everybody and their mom is on OnlyFans. And the worst part of that is, it's not just the women. It's supply and demand. That means men are out there paying for that. That's sad, because the human touch has completely disappeared in our country in this day and age. So Joan, the fabric company, has gone bankrupt. They're filed for bankruptcy. A lot of retail businesses are going to fold. So a lot of these large organizations that were barely holding on are just going to fold. They're going to call it a day. They're going to be bought out under bankruptcy. We're going to see a lot of businesses close, from Walmart to Walgreens to Rite Aid. They're closing stores left and right. And the reason why they're closing stores is because there's nothing else left to sell, because on retail in a storefront, because everything's being sold online. So you have to have a hybrid business. Sell your products online just as well as you're selling them on retail. You're going to supplement the loss of income from retail, from your online sales, and you're going to maintain. Otherwise, paying top rent is not worth it anymore. Paying $3, $4 a square foot is really not worth it. A lot of these big companies had 20, 25-year leases that are coming due right now, and they're being forced out because they probably had a lease for $1, $25, $50. Now they're $2.50, $3.50, and it's a shit show. So we're going to see a lot of retail businesses close down. We've already seen a lot of office buildings that are mostly empty. This is going to hurt LA. This is going to hurt all across the United States. This is going to hurt America. In all the big cities, they're going to hurt. So it's important to understand when you're running a business what you're paying for and how you're paying, right? So you want to pay for the space you use, because every square foot costs you money. If you have extra square feet, try to get another tenant in there. If you have extra square feet, try to, run a separate business out of there, a second business if possible. So it's important to understand that running a business today is better ran maybe from your house, your garage, or the food businesses. And I'm against it, but I'm also for it. So I'll tell you how. I'm against all these illegal, unpermitted food vendors, right? Because I'm a restaurateur. I have businesses that get affected. We had to change our menu 3 times because we have a kebab guy up the street. We have a taco guy down the street. So we can't sell kebabs and tacos anymore. But we will be selling more American food or pastas, things we don't see on sidewalks. So I'm for people chasing their dreams, people working hard to make their money and support their families. I'm not for doing it unpermitted illegally, basically. The reason why is the playing field must be level. Also, a Mexican restaurant that's been operating out of a shopping center for the past 5-10 years, opening up a taco truck or a taco trailer or a taco kitchen right in front of them is not okay, it's not right. You're killing another man's dream. So this is the issue I have, and if you're a politician, think about it. I know the LA County Health Department and LA County supervisors passed new laws and regulations. City of LA should follow, because it's important to know and have rules set in place for both the vendor and for the businesses and for the city. One, they'll end up paying taxes, which will help the city growth. 2, they'll have, they should be 500, 1,000 feet away from another similar business, which will support both businesses maintaining. And health department it should definitely be involved, not just shutting them down or trying to, take their trailers away, but also be there to inspect, because health and safety is the most important thing in our community. So another big thing that happened was Candace Owens is a free agent now. Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire have, I guess, parted ways with her, and it was over saying Jesus is king, or Jesus is Christ, or Christ is king. It had to do with religious beliefs to some sense. However, it was more about the pro-Palestine or Israel war. Candace just said, get our house in order. I'm with Candace. I support Candace. I support, her being a strong, independent woman that is willing to stand up for her beliefs, her truth, because so many people fold so easily for money, for fame. So Candace, props to you. I appreciate what you've done. Be strong, stay strong. We all support you. We love you. We appreciate you. We understand where you're coming from. You're not anti-Semitic because you said we should take care of America before we help anyone else. You're not anti-Semitic if you're calling out some crazy rabbi that's doing crazy stuff. I think all the other rabbis in the Jewish community should check that rabbi and say, what the hell are you doing? You're making a mockery of us for your Facebook likes and posts. Plus, dudes like slanging dildos on the side, which is a whole different conversation between religious leaders and sex industry. I won't get into that at the moment because we have our fair share of priests and so on, pastors, and they have their battles. But to be publicly out there making mockery of the Jewish community, trying to insult a black woman is ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So, Candace, props to you. You're going to be, just fine. You're going to make money. You're respected. You're loved. People got your back. You've got your followers that are following you. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up doing what Tucker is doing, build your own empire, or join another force. However, I think your name recognition and your brand is strong enough to be able to basically build your own brand and company. So social media has made it so easy for people to insult each other, to attack each other. God forbid, it's like a bunch of wolves and hyenas waiting for a little rabbit to fall down and break a leg, somebody, or the big wolf to fall down, and then everybody attacks. You burn bridges that way, people. You burn bridges when you're attacking people you know or you don't know. And yes, this could go for the Armenian community, Latino community, African American community. We've seen a lot of black people get attacked. Diddy is up and everybody's attacking him. 50 is attacking Diddy, not saying that he's got baby mama drama with Diddy. His baby mama chose Diddy over him. He's booty tickled. He's butthurt. His feelings are hurt. But that's between them. We don't know that. That's just two powerful black men destroying each other. Just like what Armenians do. They say, you want to kill Armenians, put them all in a room and wait. And you could just, open the door in a day or two. They'll probably kill each other. It's sad, but it's true. So another thing that's caught my eye in politics when I speak of Armenians is SCAD, Southern California Armenian Democrats. Southern California Armenian Democrats was founded by Armand. People in the industry know. Armand is for Armand. Armand was never for Armenians. Armand never actually did anything for Armenians himself. He has not done anything. Let him prove me wrong. He has not done anything other than everything he's done, supposedly for Armenians, has been for Armand, for him to get a commissioner position. Right now, he supported Nick Schultz and Laura Friedman because he cut the deal that he wants to be council member in Burbank. And they're going to support him so he can become the mayor of Burbank. And another thing that Armenians are just waking up to is SCAD is a very liberal, progressive organization. But here's the catch. To all my Armenian brothers that are part of SCAD that I actually have respect and honor, some of you are Facebook friends, some of you I know personally, you guys are funding your own suicide. You're funding your own bankruptcies. All these progressives that you guys are endorsing, and I asked a few of you, why didn't you guys endorse the Armenian candidate? Well, it's a majority vote. What fucking majority vote? What are you talking about? You're an Armenian organization. You take pride in being an Armenian organization. How do you not support the Armenian candidate? Right or wrong? So that's why I call bullshit on SCAD, one. And two, all that Armenian brothers and sisters from Mason World to everything else that they're in, all the Masons and so on, and or entrepreneurs, you're funding your own bankruptcy. You're funding your own suicide, business suicide, not your own personal suicide. Don't get me wrong. Why? Because tell me one good thing Laura Friedman passed for business. Please tell me one good policy that Laura Friedman passed for business owners. Tell me one good thing that Nick Schultz did for businesses. Tell me one good thing that any of your other candidates that you guys are endorsing now did. Tell me one good thing that Gascon did. And that's the problem. You guys are so star-struck that, we're shaking hands with politicians. Come on. You guys are better than that. Walk away from SCAD. Build your own legitimate business organization and be proud of who you represent and who you are. So that's who I'm talking to. I have zero problem with their policies and everything as far as when it comes to personal rights, human rights, gay rights, everything. God bless them. That's a whole different conversation. But when it comes to capitalism and business, that's where my line is drawn. You guys are supporting candidates that are passing policy that's bad for business. That's your fault. You're funding them. You're paying that money out. Armand doesn't put money out of his pocket. He just holds the meetings. He gets everybody else to contribute. I just speak the truth. Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, say you're wrong, Arnie, and show me the facts. I may apologize. I may say yes or no. So it's important to understand what organization you're part of. And if the organization votes a certain way, you can back that 100%. And if you can't, question who you are, question what organization you're part of. Stay blessed, stay united, love always prevails.